Oh, the time will come up when the winds will stop and the breeze will cease to be breathing. Like the stillness in the wind for the hurricane begins, the hour that the ship comes in.
Get flicked. Welcome to Flick the Script Podcast. This is episode 11. My name is Derek Mitchell. If you are somebody who enjoys movies, watching them, talking about them, etc., you are at the right place. And I just want to say thank you for joining me today. Now, what movie are we going to talk about today? You know I love talking about a good movie. Today's movie we're going to talk about is called A Complete Unknown, or as I like to call it, the Bob Dylan biopic. 2 hours and 20 minutes on the duration for this one. Directed by James Mangold, starring Timothée Chalamet, Edward Norton, Elle Fanning, Monica Barbaro, Boyd Holbrook, and a few other talented actors and actresses as well. Now, as I mentioned before, this is the story of Bob Dylan. Now, most of us, we know who Bob Dylan is. Legend. Legacy act. His music has been living on for decades. You know, if you're a music lover in general, like you know who Bob Dylan is. You've heard his music. You listen to his music. He's that guy, you know. Again, this movie is called A Complete Unknown, and it's based in, I should say, the 1960s. Bob Dylan is just 19 years old. It pretty much goes into how he gets started, how he's in New York, or he travels to New York from Minnesota, and he's just playing at local bars, local clubs, and they're trying to get his name out there. He's one of the artists that he really looks up to is Woody Guthrie. He really looks up to Woody Guthrie, and he ends up meeting Woody Guthrie. Unfortunately, Woody Guthrie isn't in the best state in the movie, but a young Bob Dylan has a chance to meet him, and that is definitely, is everything for him. I will say, as I was watching this movie, I didn't know that Bob Dylan was really adamant about not being just a folk artist. He did not want to just be in that box of just being a folk artist. He liked rock and roll. He liked blues. He liked soul music. He liked a lot of different things. And that's something I didn't really know about him. I didn't know he was really, against being in a box. And I thought that was pretty cool. He didn't want to just be like, he didn't just want to be like another folk artist. Even though he was, one of the most prominent acts in the folk genre, he was really, taking the whole genre to another level. But he just didn't want to be, just classified in that box. And another one of his mentors in the movie, played by Edward Norton, is Pete Seeger. Pete Seeger is somebody who looked at Bob Dylan as somebody who could get the folk music out to the younger crowd. And that was like his mission. Like, I want the younger crowd to be tapped into folk music. And where him and Bob Dylan started to clash was, like I said, Bob Dylan didn't want to just be a folk artist. And, as I was watching this movie, I must say it was some great acting from everybody. Timothée Chalamet, he's been doing a phenomenal job recently with the movies he's been doing, and he did a great job playing Bob Dylan. Usually when you watch people playing these legacy acts, you want to forget that there's somebody playing them, if that makes sense. Like, as you're watching this, you start to forget that Timothée Chalamet is right there playing Bob Dylan. You're just so focused on, that's Bob Dylan right there, Kind of reminds me of like when Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles. As you're watching it, you're not really paying attention to like, hey, that's Jamie Foxx. You're like, no, that's Ray Charles. You're really locked in on seeing them really playing that legacy act very well. And I must say that's how Timothée Chalamet did with this. He did a great job of playing Bob Dylan very well. I like the whole Bob Dylan, Johnny Cash connection. I like how they met and they formed a friendship there. I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said before, if you're a fan of music in general, you're gonna want to check this one out. If I have to rate it from 1 through 10, I'm gonna have to give this one a 7. I give it a 7 on the scale. Like I said, it's a great movie. If you enjoy music, if you enjoy Bob Dylan, for sure, you're gonna like this one. Be prepared to hear a lot of good music, of course. Overall, I enjoyed this movie. I will be looking forward to seeing it again. And again, this movie is A Complete Unknown, the Bob Dylan biopic. Make sure you go check it out. Once again, this is Derek Mitchell, Flick the Script Podcast, episode 11 here. Stay tuned for the next one. I look forward to seeing you then.